Good evening and welcome to the Congo Hour. I hope that you had a wonderful week. And I have my other partner with me, Mr. Congo. Mr. C, Trippy and I were supposed to weigh in today. And all of our Facebook friends and all of our friends have been texting and emailing in anticipation of the both of us getting on the scale. Did you watch last week?
Yes, I did.
Where he told me I need to lose 15 and he was going to lose 10. But unfortunately, Trippy isn't feeling well. And it is the truth because you said he's really not feeling well,
He's
right?
really not feeling well.
Okay, all right.
But what prevents you from weighing in?
Well, here's the thing, though. He told me he had bronchitis, so my thing was you don't have to talk to weigh in.
Yeah, but both of you don't have to be
But
here to weigh in.
he was bringing
We're
the
interested
scale.
in what you weigh right
He
now.
didn't bring a scale. Did you bring one by chance?
During the break, I'll get one.
Okay, not a problem then. That's fine. Well, as always, we have a fun and exciting show. I do want to say this because it was on my heart. I was glad that this weekend there were no reported shootings in Wilmington because it's been one like every weekend.
4 more hours before 12.
This is true, unfortunately. Okay, we have the Wilmington Titans with us this evening, which I'm so excited about. I think they did very well this year, and a few of the players and coach and a mom is here to share some information. And we have Ugandi coming on to talk about parenting classes that will be held at the New Moyer Academy. And we have birthdays, funeral announcements, community news, and as always, my favorite part of the show, Sammy's Corner. You know what you're going to talk about?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you ready for our first guest?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to the Congo Hour.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so introduce the two of you for me. You are the coach.
Yes. We'll let the lady go first.
Okay.
The team mom.
Team mom. Okay.
Hi, I'm Janelle Ames. I'm team mom, and I have a player, Joshua Ames, and a nephew on a team.
So which one's the son?
Joshua.
Raise your hand, Joshua. Okay. All right. And the nephew?
And Ricky.
Okay. All righty. And
I am Coach Steve Brown. I have a son that plays, but I've been coaching before he was born. I've been coaching for 12 years, so I don't just coach my son. I coach for the love of helping the kids and keeping them active and keeping them out of trouble.
okay, is your son here this evening?
Yeah, my son is here.
Oh, okay. Raise your
Stephen Hall.
hand. Okay. All righty. So we'll start with Stephen and we'll work our way around for everyone to introduce themselves and say what position you play.
Take our job.
My position is.
What's your name?
My name is Stephen Hall, and my position is wide receiver and safety.
Okay.
My name is Joshua and I'm fullback and outside linebacker.
My name is Quentin Turner, and I'm quarterback and safety.
My name is Ricardo Demonia, and I'm wide receiver.
My name is Devin Green.
Tighten up, y'all.
My name is Devin Green. I'm a running back and outside running back.
My name is Carvin Rees, fullback, middle linebacker.
As you see, they show their
My
age.
name
This
is
is a
BJ
9
Blake,
and 10-year-old
and I play
team.
defensive end and quarterback.
I'm sorry,
DJ, say
say
that
your
again.
name again.
My name BJ Blake, and I play defensive end and quarterback.
My name is Josiah Brooks. I'm wide receiver and corner.
Okay.
Nervous.
Mr. C, did you ever play football?
AKA
did.
You did.
Hot
What
Nickel
position
5.
did you
You know what
play?
I'm saying?
Back those days, I was a right halfback.
A right halfback. Do they still have right halfbacks?
I
Because
don't
you
think
said
so.
them.
They do.
Okay.
The terminology's changed. It was probably like a wishbone offense or something that you were
But I
playing
was
in on
too loud,
wing
you know what I'm
So
saying?
it's just now it's like a slot back.
Okay.
Same thing.
So you,
Put your-
this year you won. I see
what?
people with medals on.
Well, we finished third in AAU Nationals. We went in a tournament beginning of December out of 15 teams from all over the country. Excuse me, fellas. All right. We finished third. We went down there and I was really proud of this group because the majority of them come back. We were one of the younger and smaller teams down there. And we finished a legitimate third, went 4-2, and they played hard. I was definitely proud of them.
Okay.
I noticed that you didn't have guards and tackles in this group. Were they around or?
Well, we finished our season almost a month ago, so we reached out to the whole team, and certain players didn't show up. So we didn't have any linemen. A couple of the kids played line in certain positions. I mean, certain times in the game, but as you see, none of the linemen showed up.
Okay.
Okay.
But to say that, Josh is a player who fullback, but he played line when we went to Florida because
which
we
one's
needed
Josh?
that. Josh Ames.
Oh, okay.
He
All right.
sacrificed. A lot of times, the linemen don't get the glory, but he did sacrifice and stepped up, and that was an improvement that helped us make it to third. Him and another running back that did that.
So you went to Florida.
Yeah. We play pretty close to a national schedule. I mean, we play teams in D.C. We play local teams here, but we go D.C. We go to Philadelphia. We go to Jersey, and we played in a tournament in Florida, December 3rd to the 8th, I believe.
Oh, who sponsored you?
The parents. we had some help, from certain donations. We had some help from the city, but it's mostly the work of volunteers. I mean, and parents who pay. We're not for profit, so we function off of volunteers for the most part.
Getting to Florida must have been.
Yeah.
Well, parents. We prepared for that literally from because this team went last year as 8 and unders, so it wasn't our first time going. So we kind of just like next year, we're already preparing to go again now because we got a pretty good team and we prepare to win championships or at least compete for them. So we definitely fundraise all year. And so but if you know anybody who's definitely could help sponsor, we are looking.
Okay.
You know what? Unfortunately, our graphics don't work at all. So I need everyone to grab a pen and pencil, and I'm going to get you to please give your contact number for those that are watching that would like to sponsor.
All right. You can email at wilmingtontitans@yahoo.com. And my personal number is Coach Steve Brown, 302-494-8907.
Say it one more time, but a little
Say it
slower.
a little slower.
We're on live. 302-494-8907. And that email was wilmingtontitans@yahoo.com. It's exactly like it sounds, Wilmington Titans.
Oh, they said go Instagram.
But they do. There is a Facebook page for Wilmington Titans and an Instagram for the Wilmington Titans. So if you have those social networks, you can also contact the organization through there.
Okay, all right. Mom, what made you put your son on the team?
His dad.
His dad.
Yeah. This is his second year playing. He played last year for 8 under, and it was his first year playing. He really enjoyed it, so we came back again this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And yours was probably birthed to play.
Well, my oldest son played for a couple of years, and he didn't play till he was like 12. So I didn't force sports onto my children. I let them do what they wanted to do. They played art. They did art, played instruments. This son in particular, because I have 3, he does like sports all year. So out of the 3, he plays sports the most. But I, didn't force it on him.
Okay. I was thinking, and I'm sure, I believe that sports does help with discipline, your children. Of course, they had the little giggles because it might be some of their first time here or somebody may have cracked a joke or something. But do you see a difference in their behavior from when they started up until now?
Oh, definitely. Not only that, but see, I'm lucky that I have the core of this team. The parents are there, so I don't have a lot of kids where the dads aren't there or the mom isn't there. So it really starts at home. As coaches, we've got you for 2 hours a day for 3 to 5 days a week. So it really starts at home. But for me, coaching sports and dealing with kids who don't play sports, there's a clear difference. And even with the violence in the community, a lot of the teenagers and young adults who are getting involved in this stuff, they're not active, they're not doing anything. And something like the peak hours of crime are 6 to 8, and that's the hours that we practice with the youth. So to be able to take 20 to 8, the organization as a whole is from 80 to 100 kids. So the fact that the Wilmington Titans or even the No Limit Hurricanes, these youth organizations are able to take 80 to 100 youth off the street and keep them active from 6 to 8, it's a good thing. I don't think sports is everything, but it definitely keeps them active and it instills discipline.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Mr. C, you have any other questions or
Well, I
comments?
just think that I can't say that that sports is everything.
It's not.
But I think that even in school, when you're good at athletics, you become more a part of that school.
Right.
than when you're not.
Right.
So I think that it's very important to, to at a very early age develop the confidence, and that helps you to develop confidence. Sports do help you, and so I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I'm always saying I'm going to do more than I can really do, but I would also like for you to contact us and see if I can help out or get someone, that because every little bit helps, you say.
Yes.
And I would really like to know these guys and watch them play. I know of the Titans, but I haven't participated, and I think at my ripe old age, they've kicked me out of the funeral home, so that would give me something to do.
But you would love it. I mean, it's funny because when you look at them here, they don't look as to be as mean as fierce of football players that they are, especially once they take the equipment off. But I mean, when you watch their games, it's just like watching the big guys on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, they do everything that you see: the hard hits, the interceptions, the long touchdown runs, the pulling guards. As we were talking about earlier, we do it all. And I'm big on that because I also coach high school. So I'm serious on preparing them for the next level. We never sell any NFL dreams, but for the most part, most of these kids actually want to play in high school. So we try to prepare them for the seriousness and the work ethic that it takes to play on that level. And you spoke on, like, with school, students first, athletes second. That's one of our biggest things that we pump in our organization is that, because there's a grade requirement even on our level. If you're not maintaining the C average in school, you can't play. So we definitely
Very
push
good.
the students first, athletes second. And even I was thinking about how you spoke about playing for your school. Your teachers look at you in a different light. When they see you, they know you as a student, but when they know you as a student athlete, they get to see you in another light, and at times they treat you better.
Much better. I I go as far as 1954, but that was the first year that there was integration in Newark High School. Okay. Because it was a group of us who played sports, the school accepted us. We got to know each other earlier because we practiced in August, and when we got there, the school was winning, so it made a big difference. And so I always encourage kids to, get involved in sports.
All right.
I mean, sports has definitely been a bridge for the cultural gap. Part of the social integration that we've had, but hopefully we can get to where we're not just accepted as athletes and entertainers.
Right. Do me a favor and give the number one more time.
That number is 302-494-8907, and the email is WilmingtonTitans@yahoo.com.
All right. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
And we'll definitely, if you would share the schedule with us, so during announcements we can say where you're playing, who you're playing against, so we can try to get the audience to come out and support as well, okay?
Yes, we would appreciate
All right.
it. Thanks for
Okay.
having us.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Good evening and welcome back to the Congo Hour. Our next guest is going to come on and talk about something that I think that's really important in our community. Because Mr. Congo, you always talk about the value in the home and how your grandmom instilled value. So our next guest, Ugandi Jacobs, is going to come on and talk about a parenting class that is going to be offered right here in the city of Wilmington. Welcome to the Congo Hour.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Wayne,
welcome.
Mr. C. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, we've been, the last few weeks, we've been talking about the crime and just how the city is not doing too well. So I know Trippy had made a post on Facebook on last week, and then even Toby today, what's Toby's last name? The barber,
Booker.
Toby. Booker.
Yes.
He also mentioned something about that we have to get back to the real parenting and how our parents raised us and my grandparents and how Grandma Emily raised Mr. C. So you want to share a little bit about what you have coming up?
Well, as you mentioned, there has been a lot of turmoil throughout the city. And basically, as younger kids committing senseless crimes and not being trained and raised properly. So we felt as though instead of blaming everyone, that we would provide some initiatives that would give some insight on how to raise kids. You know, a lot of parents were never taught properly how to raise their own kids because some of them may not have been provided a good nurturing from their parents. So what we're doing, we're not reinventing the wheel. We've reached out to an organization that has provided parenting workshops and several other kinds of workshops, not directly in the community, but now we have negotiated with Child Inc. to bring them directly in the community to provide parenting workshops. In the parenting workshops, its mission is to heal the home as well as the community. They're going to offer 6-week interactive training workshops, giving good parents, bad parents, foster parents, and just concerned citizens tools and strategies to help improve the well-being of the parent and child relationships.
Okay. I was thinking, like, Mr. C, like kids nowadays, and I don't know if I'm sure it does have to do with parenting, they will say anything in front of anybody nowadays. Like, I never, and I'm not a cursor now, but I never would either fathom saying a curse word in front of my grandparents, my mother, or any adult. But I'm like, nowadays they will tell you off and don't even like really care. What you think?
Well, I think that, you know, I guess one of the things that I guess I was a little nervous when I heard you say it's a 6-week process.
Yes.
When I think it's an ongoing.
Yes.
And that once you join, it's like you don't drop out of first grade.
Right.
You go on forever.
Right.
To get educated. And I think that parenting is an ongoing process, but I would love to see a inclusive 30,000 people be a part of this trip.
Okay.
And you would learn as you go along how to be better parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the problem is, you know, I guess I don't want to step on my own foot, but I think that the values must be instilled and opportunities for exposure must be allowed. And when you hear, I always like that book, The Other Westmore.
That's an excellent book.
Because one was given all the opportunities and one wasn't. Mm-hmm. And the one with the opportunities was
better off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know for myself, I have been parented, even right now, I am parented by people who are wiser, who offer me information that will help me to grow at my ripe old age. And I think that it's good for me. And I'm blessed to have the opportunity to have those people in my life.
Right.
And so, you know, I would like to see a ongoing. I think that's the best thing that could happen to Wilmington.
Right. Well, let me clarify that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's a trial.
Let me clarify that. What we're doing on next Wednesday is the orientation. Now, the orientation will be an overview of the program. The program begins with a 6-week workshop in increments. So basically, concerned citizens and parents, they come to the orientation, sign up, and the 6-week program is just a launch to another pad of parenting skills and workshops that they can attain. So it is an ongoing service because parenting doesn't happen overnight, like you said. It takes the consistency to bring about some improvement. And just having a 6-week course is the small phase of the step one of a holistic approach.
I guess my next question would be, what qualifies, you know, a person to get involved with this specific group?
Was as we look around the community, we see the turmoil and the despair that we're all living in. And a lot of it is based on what folks agree that it's the parenting or the lack of parenting or the lack of education that allows the kids to just run rampant and create havoc throughout the city. So if they're reared properly, more than likely they will not be involved with violence and making bad decisions, things of that nature. So that's, go ahead, I'm finished.
Well, I think you don't have, no one has to be I mean, you can be a parent, he said, you can be a concerned citizen, anybody, a grandparent, foster parent. It's
right away I thought about a kid that gets in trouble in school. And immediately he's considered a juvenile. You know, he's a bad kid, you call the cops, you kick him out or whatever it might be.
Right.
When he needs to develop some good habits and some good values with the parents that allow them both to be successful. We need people, and that's where I think role models
Yes.
play a very important part.
Yes.
And I would like to see like students at the university to get credits for participating in this kind of, not the chemical guys, but the guys who want to be social workers and all
or like
that.
early childhood development and things
All
like
that stuff. School teachers
Yeah.
that could get credits for
That's a good
doing
idea.
that. Because most teachers don't interact with the parents. So the teacher's going to learn, the kid's going to learn, and the parent's going to learn how important it is for them to get together to get this kid successful.
Yeah. But these workshops are not just for quote unquote bad parents or parents who struggle with parenting. These workshops are also for parents who have had success to come and lend support to those who do struggle with parenting. Because parents who have had success have a better understanding on what it takes to rear and raise a child to bring about more success. So it's open to the entire public. Like you said, teachers, people in the community, renters, foster parents, everyone. It's for everyone that lives in the community that understands the impact of improving the community through its teachings of the kids.
One of my co-workers, you went and talked about it at one of the mayor's meetings, and she was like really excited that you were bringing it. She said she, as a parent, and she's a wonderful parent. She said she went just to be a better parent. She wasn't a bad parent, but she said she went like several times to these classes and that they really help. So she was really excited about it.
Well, again, this parenting workshop is not only for the community, but it's something that's near and dear to myself. I'm a parent of 3, and I know that I have a strained relationship with my kids, and I know that a lot of other friends and folks in the community, especially men, have strained relationships with their kids and their kids' mother. So this allow us to learn some strategies that we could implement and trying to become a little closer to our kids and spend more time without going through the court system, or even going through the court system. Taking this class will give you the certification that says that you want to be involved in your kids' lives, and this is the steps that you have taken to put you in a position to do so.
You know, there are volumes and volumes of information around kids. And volumes of information around problem children. But there's very little information around what caused the problem.
Right.
That's true.
It's a lot of layers.
Absolutely. You know, I find today that it's interesting that if you go back historically, and this is something I'll talk on Sammy's Corner someday, but if you go back historically, there was an attempt by slave owners to create a gladiator type competition between slaves. So they were trained to hate each other and to beat up on, in fact, kill each other if they had to. It's amazing how in today's world, I can remember when I grew up, there was always some confrontation on the weekends at some bar or liquor store where a guy was cut. You know, everybody said, hey man, I got son with me. I got Bill, I got George, and I got all that. So this violence isn't something new.
Right.
The only thing new is they have more deadly weapons.
Yes.
And there's a different way of doing it.
Correct.
You know, it's an accepted behavior of the violence that we've been trained to do. You know, I remember when guys would brag about what they would do to another guy publicly.
Right.
And that weekend it probably happened. But the guys aren't advertising it so much, but they're just doing it. And so I think that we need to get some information on how we can get into the families to prevent the families from allowing this kind of value to take place in their homes. I mean, parents kind of know what's going on, that the kids are doing crazy stuff. But, you know, I noticed this young man with that football team. You know, he is beginning to develop and cultivate if the street don't beat him to it.
Right. Right.
Because
which is a challenge.
It's a big challenge. But with, you know, if I had my way, I would have 300 parenting people instead of 300 cops. You know, there are very few violent things that take place in a week or a month. They're all little things that could be handled anyway. The things and they make out that everything is so scary and you know, it's dangerous and all that. And I just think that's I think that's the people who control this city and control the state are making excuses for not having jobs. And they farmed all the jobs out overseas. And then when the guys try to get a job, they can't get a job and they're going to make a living.
Somehow.
And that's what takes place. They create this kind of environment that causes this competition for money.
Right.
And so normally, you know, you competed for jobs and upgrading. Now there are no jobs.
Right.
When you talk about 10 million went someplace else, and then 10 million more come in from Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and I'm glad to see the Mexican guys, and I'm also glad to know that companies can go someplace else, I guess. But at the same time, don't blame. You know, my partner Jimmy always talks about his uncle, who says it's okay to crap in my hat, but don't get mad at me for stinking. So, you know, I think that's what we're up against. You know, we have an odor to it all because someone else put it there for us.
Years ago.
Yeah. And so we have to learn how to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Didn't mean to take over here.
Gundy, so the orientation is this Wednesday. Let's talk about the time and where.
Yes, the orientation is this Wednesday, the 15th. It's critical that participants come out for the orientation because the orientation will let us know about the future existence of the program continuing. Because if you don't have no participants, then you have no program. So this Wednesday night from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. is orientation at the new Maurice J. Moyer Academy located at 610 East 17th Street. Now we chose Moyer Academy because it's right in the community. No one has to hitch a ride. It's not long distance. It's in walking distance. You know, so a lot of the crime and a lot of single parent homes are in that area. And also I live in that area. So in order for me to be concerned citizen, I wanted to bring about some change directly in the community where I live.
Okay. And the cost is?
It's free. It's a free interactive orientation as well as workshop for the remaining 6 weeks. And the 6-week workshop can only take place again as once we get the participation from all the concerned parents and citizens of the community that would like to change the community and the well-being and safety of their kids.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you for coming on.
I appreciate you for having
You're
me.
welcome. Mr. C, I don't know if he was looking at the clock, but we went over when Sammy's Corner was supposed to start.
So I just make it short.
All right, so we're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be right back with Sammy's Corner. All right, welcome back to the extended edition of Sammy's Corner. We started with Ugandi talking about parenting, and we ended, but we're going to just flow and continue to talk about it for a few more minutes on Sammy's Corner.
Very good. So finish educating me, because I may want to.
What would you
Man,
like
how
to
to
know? Am I on?
Well, let me
Okay.
say this, that when we came, right when we took the break, I commended Ugandi for being transparent and very open about his relationship with his children and wanting to do better. So I want to commend you on that. And I think, Mr. C, I'm sure you know of people who have, a strained relationship with their parents, especially when it's blended families or not necessarily blended families.
Well, I think that, first of all, honesty is everything. Being honest with yourself and then honest with other people who probably have value for you, back and forth. Whoever that might be, not you as a person, but whoever you're working with. The honesty side of it. And then I think that parenting has to do with what you see on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. Because we see things like, let me give you an example. I know that for 4 years, 5 years probably, there was a large group of people who had value for Channel 28, and that's why we're here. Mm-hmm. Right now we're here because of the efforts and the hard work that some people did, because they wanted to make sure this communication stays open.
Mm-hmm. It's an important vehicle.
Very important. One of the sad parts about our culture is the very same people that were encouraged to come and help to make this happen did not work as hard as the people who did, but wanted, and at a point when there was a time to compete, they wanted to take the advantage of all the hard work that folks said that they did, and wanted to make changes, which caused a conflict. Mm-hmm. Instead of us joining and helping,
that's good. We
all tend to want to put the other one down.
Right.
This falls back into groups. It falls back into the home, where lack of respect begins to
crumble.
Well, it begins to grow because they hear parents talking about each other. Mm-hmm. The neighbor next door did this, and she's no good, and he's no good. Yeah. And so we lose value.
True.
When I grew up, you didn't hear that, because you respected all the neighbors.
Right.
And if there was something said, you better not be around to be listening, because if you were caught listening, you got in trouble. But I just think that that we have to understand. When I said there are volumes and volumes about bad kids and violence and all that, we have to create and understand what causes that. What is the cause of this attitude that has developed throughout the world, not only in Little Wilmington?
Right.
The newspaper will do something as I think is crazy to make people in Wilmington afraid of Wilmington.
Yeah.
They
do depict that.
compare. They say that Wilmington is a violent city like New York, but they don't say per capita.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
New York may have 1,000 deaths, and we may have 60 deaths.
Right.
Maybe not 60, but the headline says it's the most violent city in
its
America.
size. Yeah.
Because people want to sell papers instead of trying to make Wilmington a better place to live.
Right.
And we take that as gospel because we read it in the paper or we hear it on the news when it isn't accurate.
Yeah.
You know, I see people jumping on Dennis, the mayor Dennis Williams. When this was going on years and years and years, he has not been in office in
Just slightly over a year.
and yet they're saying that he was supposed to curb the crime. Well, his platform was he knew the answer to it.
Right.
But it's more to it than that. It's what people will allow him to do. You see, there's the civil liberties people and all that prevent him from being able to do what he thought he could do. Because they'll step up and say, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't just jump out. You can't stop and search people. I think that in order to make this work, there are some people who are going to be affected that are innocent.
By the stop and frisk.
Sure. But if that's what you think, I'm willing to be stopped and frisked because I don't have anything to lose.
Okay.
You know, if a policeman pulls me over, I've never had.
They're going to say, go ahead, Mr. C. I didn't know that was you.
But does that take the power out of the normal residents?
What?
The stop and frisk. Just standing in front of your house.
If you want to achieve a goal. Do you want to achieve a goal or do you want power?
Well, I definitely want to achieve a goal. We all would want to achieve
Well,
a
then
goal.
how would you do it if you can say, I can't do it? Tell me how to do that.
That's a difficult question to really answer.
It is.
Yeah, because there's going to be some pros and cons each way. Because if I'm standing out in front of my house, just enjoying my neighborhood, and I all of a sudden look like I robbed someone, that's going to be an issue. Then I'm going to become combative.
Why?
Because I was
Are
wrong.
you guilty?
No.
'Cause I'm standing
But
on my
I'm standing
own
in front of my house, and I just want to enjoy.
So is the criminal right down the street, standing in front of his house.
But that's going to take.
But you know what they have, and I apologize, they have those things which I think everyone should have. One of my girlfriends has it on her door. It's ask or something. So if you see someone sitting on her step,
No loitering.
no, it's not no loitering. I'm gonna have to find out what it is. It's something about ask me or ask or something. So people are putting them on their doors or on their steps. So if anyone is loitering, that they want the police officers to stop and ask, do you reside here? Have you heard of that sign?
No.
No.
I just think that you're either serious about it or you want to play games. And
So
I think
that's the route you would take.
I would take that route, yes. Because I don't mind policemen stopping me. I don't mind him coming in my porch. I don't mind him coming in my house because I'm not guilty of anything.
But then, Mr. C, on the flip side of that, I think that sometimes, and there are stories of how police officers kind of sort of take their power and use it
And misuse it.
and misuse it. So we gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta like balance, like, okay, so yeah, if we're gonna allow you to do this, then we need them to not misuse their authority?
When a community is solid, just like this group, Lapa, was solid. They worked hard. They went to Philly. They went to everywhere to get information because they wanted to keep this station open.
Right.
Okay. They sacrificed time. They sacrificed money to make that happen because they were serious about it.
Right.
Okay. I think that people who are serious about things will sacrifice to make things change. And it's going to
I
have
agree
to
with
be
that.
a sacrifice. It's not going to be that easy.
Yeah, most definitely. But as you like you mentioned, the Lapa situation. You know, we live in a capitalist society. Whenever there's an opportunity for new folks to take advantage of a situation, they're going to try.
Like what?
Like the Lapa situation.
You
The
said
Lapa
people
was
came
strong.
in. Yeah.
However, there were some other folks on the side who bidded against Lapa because they wanted a piece of the pie. That's just society. That's the America that we live in.
I think that we as a people
Need to stick together.
have to learn that that's not the way.
Most definitely.
The way is to join to achieve a goal. And we have to set our goals. If there's a bad cop, let's get rid of him. And if we choose and work together, that will happen. Put enough pressure on the police department about Captain Smith, and Captain Smith will be gone. You put enough pressure on it.
Right.
So we have to learn that Captain Smith has had 20 infractions
Right.
of abuse,
That's good.
Of stopping and frisk.
and then abusing,
Right.
and using his power illegally, and you get rid of him.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, these kind of guys will slow down because we need joint efforts on behalf of everybody. You know, while we're playing games, the criminals are taking the advantage of that.
Yeah.
And we can't allow that to happen. And I believe we have a great police force. I really, really do. Golly, I got stopped, I would say in the last month, I've been stopped 3 times.
In your fast car.
And
But was you talking on the phone or did you have your seatbelt on?
one time I got stopped. I was driving the truck, and a piece of furniture fell off.
Oh, my.
The policeman picked up the furniture and brought it to me, pulled me over, and gave me my chair.
Well, that's
was-
you, Mr. C.
That has
You
nothing.
don't fit the description
He
of...
did not know that was me that dropped the truck.
He ran your tag. He knew it was
No,
you.
he didn't. Then the lights was out in the back of one of my cars.
Right.
And so the policeman came up, stopped me. No, the tags was out. And he said, you know, your tag's been out a month. He said, where are you coming from? I told him where I was coming from. He said, let me see your driver's license. I showed him my driver's license and insurance and all that stuff. He said, okay, you want to get this car inspected, you know, and
He gave you a warning?
He didn't even give me a warning ticket. He just said, go get it inspected.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying, what do you stop me for?
Right.
Right.
You know,
That's true.
He was respectful, I'm sure.
and he realized that I guess he felt that I wasn't telling him a lie,
Right.
and that the tags had ran out, and that I was going to get it inspected, and that's his job
Right.
to help me. Okay, and or I can be funky, and that would be his job to put something on me,
Right.
and he has the power to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, because first of all, I was guilty of breaking the law.
True.
Okay, it could have went both ways, but because of the way I behaved, I believe, you know,
I
it went
agree
that
with that.
way. So I don't believe the guys are that bad. I just think that, you know, it's just like when you say something to one of the kids on the street, and he said, "What are you saying, old man?" You know, if I had the power, I'd probably nail him. You know, and so that's what I mean in terms of the respect. Number one, always respect, but have values for your neighbors.
And yourself.
And try to make Wilmington a better place to live. And I think that it's possible.
I do also.
Most definitely.
But I know you don't fit the description for one police officer to pull you over and call for backup.
What's that?
And call for other officers to back him up.
Let me act like a fool and see what happens.
They'll just say, Mr. Congo, he didn't have his medicine. They'll call Miss Congo, come get your husband.
No, I mean, all I got to do is act up and be foolish. And they're going to, now all them policemen don't know me.
I understand that.
And so
Most
they
of them
they will respond to how I...
Accordingly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that not only that, we have to... I want to get back to where you are with your program in terms of how do we make that work, because that's a key issue that needs to be addressed.
Well, I do know that it's going to take all hands on deck. Everyone is not going to come and support the event because of me, but it's not about me. It's about the workshop that's being provided to others that may be in the same situation or may need some input on how they're going to improve their home. It's about healing the home and the community. So that's what it's going to come down to. Being able to, one thing I have learned is, in order to be a great leader, you must be a great follower. So you have to be taught and trained by the best, or some folks that can give you some valuable insight that can improve your situation. Now, I know that Child Inc., they have certified counselors that's going to lead these workshops. This is what they are trained to do, day in and day out. And same way you're in the funeral business, you're trained to work, funerals. These counselors are trained to give the insight, the resources, and the tools that's going to assist them. So I'm just encouraging the public who are concerned about the well-being of our communities to come out to orientation and hear the overview of what the workshops are all about, and hopefully we could bring some change throughout the communities.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I need the two of you to sit quietly here so that I don't go over. I need to do some announcements, okay?
All right.
All right.
I'm
You gonna sneak off? Okay, Gundy, you can't sneak off because then you'll be on the camera. I need to announce that, we want to say happy birthday to Miss Virginia Marks, who will be celebrating her birthday on the 17th. She's going to be 97 years old. God bless her. And that's from Miss Fran, your daughter. Want to also announce that Family and Friends Day at Community Presbyterian Church, which will be January the 26th, and service begins at 11. So once again, that's at Community Presbyterian. I believe the address is 510 Rogers, no, not 510, 5 something Rogers Road. And then we want to announce that State Representative Charles Potter will be having his town hall meeting tomorrow from 6:30 to 8:30 at P.S. DuPont Middle School, which is 701 West 34th Street. Many local officials will be there, so you want to make sure that you are there at the town hall meeting tomorrow evening at 6:30 to 8:30 at P.S. DuPont High School. As far as our funeral announcements are, we have Mr. Brian Davis, age 35, who departed this life December the 31st. His services were held on Friday, and his burial was private. Mr. DeAndre Green, age 16, departed this life suddenly December the 29th. His funeral services were held on Saturday, and his burial took place in Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Miss Lucinda Hackett, age 70, departed this life December 30th. Her funeral services were held on Thursday, and her burial took place in Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Mr. Vincent Richards, age 77, departed this life January the 4th. His funeral services were held on Saturday, and his interment will take place in Jamaica. Mr. Twan Money, age 36, departed this life January the 7th. His funeral services will be held 6 p.m. Tuesday, January the 12th at Congo Funeral Home, 2317 North Market Street. His viewing will be from 4 to 5:45 p.m. and his burial is private. Mr. Albert Richardson, age 82, departed this life January the 6th. His funeral services will be held 11:30 Tuesday, January 21st at Abundant Life Worship Center, 250 Booth Street in Elkton, Maryland. His viewing will be from 10 to 11:15 a.m. and his burial will take place in the Delaware Veterans Cemetery. Mr. Clyde Williams, age 83, departed this life December the 29th. His services will be announced. We want to say happy birthday, and I do apologize. For more information, please, you can go to our website at www.congofuneralhome.com, or you can give us a call at 652-8887. Want to say happy birthday to Florence Dixon, Aunt Flossie, who celebrated her birthday on January the 3rd. And we have a picture this time. And Aunt Flossie turned 71. Aunt Flossie looks really good for 71. And then we want to say happy birthday to Vivian Pridgett, who we affectionately call Dee, who works with us at the funeral home. Her birthday was on January the 4th. And that's from your family, friends, and the entire Congo Funeral Home staff. And on behalf of all of us at Congo Funeral Home, we thank you so much for tuning in. Pray that this week is the best week of your life. Stay tuned for my friend Norman Oliver and Community Crossfire.